your alarm rings, and before your feet even touch the floor, the onslaught begins. This high-speed friction has become our modern default. In the modern economy, human attention is the most heavily taxed and harvested resource on Earth. Every interface and algorithm is engineered to capture a fraction of your focus. The result is a state of cognitive overload, a physiological condition where continuous notifications and endless scrolling physically tear your attention into unusable fragments. When we feel this overwhelm, we often try to solve it by adopting complex productivity systems, digital trackers, and optimization hacks. But these systems demand their own maintenance, often generating more mental noise than they solve. We are left dealing with a harsh paradox. Modern life demands rapid speed and instant reactions, yet our most critical decisions and our ability to regulate our emotions require slowness and awareness. Access to information is now infinite. The mental space required to process that information has become the scarcest resource of the modern age. That external digital noise quickly creates an internal psychological trap known as automatic thinking, a state where your brain stops actively engaging with ideas and defaults to reacting to the next stimulus. Look at this flow cycle to see the mechanics of that trap. With prolonged exposure to a high-speed digital environment, your brain gets stuck in a closed loop. Continuous, rapid data inputs arrive, but they keep bouncing off a central barrier, failing to be deeply processed. Standard self-help frameworks and digital tracking tools fail to break this cycle because they operate at the same frenetic frequency. They become just another set of data points bouncing off the barrier. Willpower alone cannot pull your mind out of a reactionary loop. Escaping requires an intentional, external interruption to your momentum. Achieving clarity is impossible while you are trapped inside that cycle. You need an engineered tool designed specifically to halt the brain's processing speed. This is the environment where clarity is reclaimed, a definitive halt to the momentum. The Mind Reset card is a physical object. It lacks a glowing interface, a swipe-up gesture, or an algorithm feeding you the next hit. Instead, you encounter a specific reflection prompt. What is occupying your mind that does not deserve your energy? This targeted inquiry interrupts your automatic thinking patterns. It forces the brain to stop its constant forward motion and pivot inward. The power of this moment does not lie in rushing to find the perfect answer. The value comes from successfully building the structural architecture of a pause. Research across psychology and cognitive science suggests that intentional reflection can improve emotional regulation and decision-making by reducing mental noise. As you spend 30 to 60 seconds focusing on a prompt, your brain undergoes cognitive stabilization. It shifts from reacting to stimuli to self-observation. This enforced silence creates processing space. With the constant stream of data paused, your brain can engage in deeper critical thinking. The mechanism relies on simplicity. You are removed from screens, tracking apps, and complicated productivity routines. The practice forces a direct confrontation with your own internal thoughts, rather than asking you to consume someone else's content. A single, well-framed question creates mental clarity by removing cognitive friction instead of adding to it. This reflection practice functions at various friction points throughout an average day. A student facing an overwhelming syllabus can utilize a focus reset card to clear cognitive overload before starting a session of deep study. A busy, creative professional facing attention fragmentation can use a mental clarity card to break through paralysis and reconnect with their own ideas. And a professional carrying the stress of a deadline can use an evening reset card to emotionally decompress before transitioning back into their personal life. These isolated moments of intentional thinking compound over time, altering your baseline relationship with your own attention. In a culture obsessed with constant digital stimulation and raw speed, the ability to engineer silence has become incredibly valuable. The goal is not achieving absolute digital isolation. The objective is building the capacity for selective, intentional engagement. With 100 reflection cards, this collection offers 100 distinct opportunities to interrupt the noise and reclaim your focus. True clarity does not come from consuming more information. It comes from asking the right questions in the space you create for yourself.